A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show from the city of Lagos, right here in Nigeria. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
I'm super excited to be on the show tonight. It's still the most beautiful time of the year, the last edition of Sports Tonight in 2021 in London. I'm Austin Okonakman.
All right, let me give you a quick rundown of what to expect on the show tonight. It's going to be interesting on the show tonight. We're going to have a robust conversation on, of course, the newly appointed Super Eagles manager, Jose Peseiro. We're going to be talking about him, and we have somebody lined up who is in a very good position to tell us how the decision was reached. On the show tonight, we will also talk about what's currently going on in the English Premier League, Manchester United in action. Of course, we'll take a look at the Super Eagles, our hearts and minds towards the Super Eagles, the stories surrounding Victor Osimhen. We'll talk about that as we move on. We'll also continue with the countdown to the Nations Cup. Of course, we'll talk about match day 3, 2 matches played today. We'll talk about what happened in those matches. And of course, we'll take a look at 2021. Like Austin said, today happens to be the last show we're going to be having for 2021. So we're going to look at the sporting year 2021. How has it been for Nigeria? We'll take a look at that and we'll discuss in detail how it has been for Nigeria in all of the sports that we participated in. And of course, the proposed biennial World Cup also will get us talking. We'll listen to the UEFA president, Alexander Safarin, giving his thoughts on that idea. It will be interesting to listen to what he has to say about all of that. All right, so that's the outlook of the show. Austin, those are the ingredients we're going to use to make a good soup tonight. And hopefully, by the end of the show, it will be worth the while for our viewers.
I'm telling you, Yemi, because the majority of football fans in Nigeria are talking about the appointment of Jose Peseiro as the new coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So yesterday, the Nigeria Football Federation told us that the technical committee, they found their man, and the executive committee, endorsed the proposal to bring him in. He's not going to be in charge at AFCON. Austin Egwanvo will go on as coach of the team, but Peseiro will be at the sidelines as an observer, know the team, see ways that he can, bring his technical input. I've been speaking to members of the technical committee in the Nigeria Football Federation, and they said first they'll give him a 2-year contract. Is a must that he qualifies Nigeria for the World Cup. So guys, get ready for some drama just in case he doesn't make it to the Qatar 2022 World Cup. It might just be goodbye. But if you look at the resume of the new coach, fair enough. But is it the man that we're expecting right after Gernotro? I don't think so.
All right. And also, the solved form problems for us by quickly putting it out that Augustine Ogravon will be the boss of the new manager, just in case anybody decides to have any ideas. And of course, they didn't leave us to start putting 2 and 2 together. It's been clearly spelled out in the communique put out yesterday that Egwanvo will revert back to his role in the technical department after the Nations Cup. And like you said, Peseiro will be at the Nations Cup to observe. So we'll see what happens. We're not going to be having this conversation alone. Before we bring our guests, we'll dissect how the decision to appoint Peseiro was reached. Let me quickly introduce our partner in the Lagos studio, who's also interested in talking about all of these issues and more. Bolo Money joins us tonight. Bolo, greetings to you. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show tonight.
Good to be here again. Interestingly, I was here for the first show of the year. Interestingly or coincidentally, I'm here for the last show of the year. Always good being around. And many questions to be asked again. And I like that you really said at least one of the questions has been answered in the communique that was passed. So 2020 has been up, downs, depending on who you support. That but club football, there's only 1 or 2 things to pick up as we were. I think to a level, some of us laughed at the Olympics. At least we won 2 medals from there. They're moving to the Paralympics. They did us so well to Formula One. Yeah, I wanted Hamilton to win. I didn't like the conclusion, but again, you still have to respect Mad Max for winning his first title. So I think despite all the 1 or 2 COVID problems, there are positives to pick out from, and that's one thing sports will do for you. There may be blockades, there may be no's and all, but when you think about sports, you definitely have something to smile about.
All right, there's always a silver lining, and I agree with Bolu on the one. Sports always give you reason to smile. But forgive us on the show. Our focus will be on Nigeria. Probably our first show in 2021 we'll take a look at, we'll have a global perspective, but for the show tonight, when we're done with some of the other discussions, we want to look at sports in Nigeria 2021 and try to highlight what has happened. All right, let's move on the show. It's time to address the elephant in the room. The Nigeria Football Federation has appointed Jose Peseiro as the new coach. Austin talked about his profile. Okay, let's check it out. Let's check out the profile of the man at the helm, the man that's going to be in charge, hopefully for a long time, unless something we don't expect happens. But there you have it. Of course, Jose Peseiro, his profile is 61 years, comes from Portugal. Of course, he has a UEFA Pro license. He has managed a couple of teams. His last position was house manager of Venezuela. He has some titles listed down there that he has won during his stint as a manager. So, of course, he has a resume. Well, with a couple of titles, let me just put it that way. So that's the profile of the man who will be handling the Super Eagles of Nigeria immediately after the Cup of Nations in Cameroon. All right. So, Bolu, let me just get your thoughts on this one quickly as we wait to have a robust conversation from the other hand on how the decision was reached. But your thoughts?
Well, okay, too many things to say about of the
what's kept secret?
Yeah, remember, was it last week when we were listening to Pinnick's interview when I said I didn't believe some of the things he said. I'm not saying he was lying or not, but I didn't believe some of it. I believe they had Peseiro in mind. I don't think there were other people. Like he claimed that they're speaking to others, just hiding their identity. I think it was about him from North. But again, his profile is a better profile that Raw gave us before the job of Super Eagles. I believe Super Eagles' job was probably his biggest gig that pushed him. Rock would take almost any other job in Africa, probably other countries in the world. Peseiro, with his experience, I saw the report from Deco and all. I still don't know he went around. No, he's got about 30 years experience with like 20 different teams. I think that someone like doesn't like to stay long. I think it's only once he spent 3 years in a team. After that, I think 2 years in 1 or 2 other teams. Everywhere just months, years, and he's coached national teams just twice. Saudi Arabia, poor outing. Venezuela, poor outing. In fact, the last Copa America, 5 teams in the group. 4 could qualify. He still finished 5th. But again, looking at his record with club size,
in his defense, they would mention COVID and all that.
And they were owing him. And I laughed when I heard the issue of the salary owing. I pray he wouldn't have faced the same situation with Nigeria. But going by his club record, wasn't that bad. They took Sporting Lisbon to the UEFA Cup final. Yes, he lost that game, was assistant under, incidentally, Egypt's current coach at Real Madrid. Carlos Queiroz, while he was coach of Real Madrid, Peseiro was the assistant. But again, he may have failed. I'm not saying he failed. He may have failed in his 30-year career. And Super Eagles may be the turning point. Sometimes you never can tell until he tries. Like one of the things I keep telling him, you may like, you may not like, but I don't think there's any Nigerian that wants the national team to fail. Yeah. So whoever is in charge, go on. And I love the fact that, remember, I think still the same interview with Pinnick when he said, well, Eguavon is good, but they wanted someone better. And reports of he could even take charge of AFCON. But I like that now. They've said it plain and clean. He will not be the one in charge of AFCON. Just there. And there's nothing stopping him from maybe sharing ideas with Eguavon. Yes. I still always give the reference of Iceland at the 2016 Euros. They had former Super Eagles coach like Lagerback, and they had another coach as well on the sideline who they both worked up, Hal Grimson or something. They worked side by side. We knew who the coach was. I think it was Lagerback who was leaving. And the new man was to take over. So there's nothing wrong with sharing ideas together. Hope there won't be battle of supremacy. So I wanted, since it was confirmed they would have another coach, I wanted him to be around before AFCON. Let him look at 1 or 2 players. Obviously, if he's in training with them, seeing them play, he will be looking. Oh, I believe it's one of the reasons why Osimhen wants to play at the AFCONs. Because if for whatever reason Nigeria win the AFCON, and maybe Awoni or Dennis becomes probably the top scorer, I think Osimhen will now start fighting for a place again. Because if I'm a new manager,
afresh,
exactly, I'm a new manager. I just watched this team play a tournament, and 2 players were outstanding. They probably won the highest goal scorer. And not that they are poor at their club, but Awoni is, I think, our second highest goal scorer in Nigeria. Dennis is so outstanding for Watford that the coach is looking for ways to keep him there. Una Berlin are already talking about how they'll miss him. So I think that's the worry for Osimhen. So the new manager will definitely be looking out for. I don't think he'll be doing trial and error for the World Cup qualifiers. I still don't think they'll sack him even if they don't qualify. But I doubt he will make any trial and error. He may decide to stick with the squad for the AFCON, bar injury. So that's why I think Osimhen wants to try and be there at all costs. But again, let's see what he can do. He has worked with some of the best coaches. According to Pinnick, it was suggested by Jose Mourinho. That means Jose Mourinho trusts him to a level. He worked under Carlos Queiroz at Real Madrid. I don't think any experience comes bigger than Real Madrid. So I think in all, it's good enough. I think it's one of the best we can get. There was a time we talked about getting the likes of Ericsson due to 1 or 2 of the field discussions they couldn't get. So to a level, let's see what he can offer.
Yeah.
Let's see what he can do. From there, we can start judging him. You may or may not like him. I don't want Peseiro to fail.
Yeah.
Because Peseiro's failure will start from Nigeria qualifying for the World Cup. From everything we've read, we've seen documentaries about Qatar, I don't want Nigeria to be the one to miss out. Never. Whoever they bring in the qualifiers, we may play useless football, but I want us to be at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Calm down.
I can hear us in at the background. So nobody wants Nigeria to miss out, surely.
I understand the cynicism that Bolu is expressing, you know. For one, the Nigeria Football Federation or the ministry, they can do whatever they want to do with either hiring or sacking a coach. But in our hearts of hearts, we should feel bad that we destroyed the 5-year stability that we had built with Raw, particularly that we could have just gone to the AFCON and then go to the World Cup and then see what we can do from there. You know, but just to clear some things that have been out there as regards the appointment of this coach. First, they said the NFF went to consult Jose Mourinho. No, the NFF had to go speak to Mourinho because 3 of the shortlisted coaches had Mourinho as their referees. So if I have Yemi Adebayo and Bolo Money as my referee for a job, my potential employers can call you guys and ask questions. So they did that. There's nothing wrong with that. As I said at the start, the CV of this guy isn't that bad. But does it make me go, yeah, this is the sort of coach we're expecting to get after Coach Gennaro? No, it doesn't make me feel that way. And there's still a lot of questions to be answered. But unlike Raw, he's not coming with his assistant. He will work with the coaches on ground. He will work with Coach Salisu Yusuf, Joseph Yobo, Alain Agu. While after the AFCON, Austin Eguavon goes back to his role as technical director, and Paul Aigbogun will go back to continue his work with the Nigeria Football Federation. And that's where I have some concerns. He will work with the guys that have worked with Coach Gennaro. So it tells you we're just in a haste to take Raw out of the picture. Did we plan properly? Because if you're going from one phase to another, deliberate planning is expected. But at this point, it is what it is. Jose Peseiro has been appointed. We want to wish him all the best on the job, and we pray that, you know, he has a good time with it.
Yeah, that's a prayer that everything works well. Of course, like Bolu said, I mean, that's where I stand. If you want Nigeria to succeed, anybody who's the Super Eagles manager must succeed, like him or not. He just has to succeed. And for once, I want to give the NFF credit for the communique. Probably cleared 1 or 2 misconceptions that we might have had. And they didn't allow us to start plotting any graph. And I think that's good. I hope to see more of that after crucial decisions. The last one, the way Raw was exited, wasn't managed very well. And this is the fallout of all of those things. But I do like the way all of this have been managed. And hopefully we can go on from there. I mean, who says we can't do well at the Nations Cup? We're putting a man who has been at the helm before. So it's not new to Zerezo. And I hope all the other guys will be able to chip in and assist him. And hopefully we'll do well in Cameroon And so we'll continue with the show. Hopefully, we will be able to have that conversation. It appears
Yep.
we're not ready
Hopefully.
yet. So, but we move on the show. But since talking about the Super Eagles, let's pay a thought for some of the things we've been hearing. Victor Osimhen in the news. Emmanuel Dennis Bolu hinted about the coach, of course, the club saying the invitation came late, and some Nigerian fans are already saying, "Don't just start any nonsense. Don't just start any nonsense." but hopefully, we're not going to have issues with COVID. There are some African teams. I can't remember the name of the African team now that have issues with maybe 4 players with COVID. We're hoping we're not going to have that.
Yeah, I mean, I told you yesterday on Tuesday, and I said these are very delicate times, you know, because anything can just happen, you know. It might just be at the start of the competition, players will come down with COVID. You know, European coaches are already giving signs that they don't want their players to go for the AFCON. Special shout out to Arsenal legend Ian Wright coming out to say, why are we disrespecting the AFCON? Why are we asking questions about players going to represent the motherland? And that's what I'm talking about. Africa, we must start carrying ourselves with some level of respect, with some level of prestige, so that our European counterparts will not, you know, rubbish the competition. But it's unfortunate that what has happened with Victor Osimhen has happened, but these are the times. So every other person, every other team member needs to, you know, these days it is how careful can one be? Because when COVID is around the corner, it is around the corner. So everyone just has to, you know, stay safe, respect the, you know, safety procedures, and try to be well for the team and the AFCON.
All right, we got to move on the show. Trust us. We would revert if there's something to say. I don't know if Bolo has anything to add in terms of update, but we need to go to Nigerian Professional Football League.
Well, the Osimhen issue, I think, is getting more, let me say the word dirty. It's looking like there was a report that the lawyer threatened that they would take up legal issues. Then suddenly, Osimhen, according to Napoli, was going to be fit enough to play on the 16th of January against Bologna. Suddenly,
comes up with COVID.
He declared that he's going to play for Nigeria. Suddenly, the surgeon said he needs like 60 to 90 days out. Again, he's now with COVID. I wish Osimhen can. I don't want to be in his shoes right now, because lots of things will be going around his mind. That, am I the only one? What's wrong with me? Like some would say, half bread is better than none. So hopefully all the things we suffered in 2021, we'll enjoy them in 2022. For example, in the NPFL, the licensing, maybe next year we'll bring it to life, because it's still silly that we are still owing so many players and all. But again, many positives. NPFL ended. And Lizako United won the title, and also hopefully we'll get to enjoy much more in 2022, and we'll put all these things behind us.
All right, we'll put all of these things behind us. All right, we're pressed for time. Let me pass the baton to Austin. It's time to listen to the UEFA president, Alexander Ceferin. Don't let me put words in his mouth. Let me pass the baton to Austin. But he has some views, though.
Yeah, he has some views. Let's listen to him, then we'll come back and get into that conversation.
First of all, it's not the only one. Europe and South America are against, and those are the only World Cup winners in history. The problem is that the World Cup has to be every 4 years to be interesting. Second, if it would be every 2 years, it would cannibalize women's football, because it would be at the same year as women's football. Other sports, Olympic Games, many mistakes. It's simply a bad idea, and it will not happen because it's a bad idea, not because we are opposing it. Look, why not doing it every 6 months there? You can watch every month, every week. It's not as simple as that. Why Olympic Games are every 4 years? Because it's an event that you have to look forward, that you have to wait, and you have to enjoy it. And it's the biggest football event. It has to be every 4 years. But it's very clear, 75% of fans around the world reject the idea. Look, first of all, you don't help yourself if you are worried. You have to solve the problems. We are still optimistic. We think that everything will go well. The situation last year was worse than now, because we didn't know the virus. It was tougher, and I'm optimistic. I think that big events will still go on, and the spectators will be able to be on the stadiums.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be trouble because
Yeah.
UEFA needs to agree to this for it to work. I believe UEFA needs to agree because they are an important player in the scheme of things. When you talk about football, Seferin and UEFA, the body language from the beginning is no to these biennial World Cup plans. And he says it's not going to happen, you know. And he's even compared it to the Olympics. So why is the Olympics why is the Olympics done in every 4 years? I think the World Cup is a big deal. Maybe UEFA just needs to sit down with FIFA and understand what's in it for them. I think the whole problem is money. Money is the issue.
Austin, unfortunately, we don't have time to dissect this. Maybe we'll take this into the new year. But give us the update from your end. Manchester United currently playing against Burnley. The updates. It appears like Manchester United currently leading by 2 goals. So that's the updates that we're giving to you. 30 minutes of football played in that one. There you have it on your screen. Manchester United leading 2-0. And that's where we're going to leave it on the show tonight. Bolo Money, I want to thank you for your time. It's the last edition of the show for the year. And hopefully 2022 will be better than 2021. Yeah, definitely.
Be again. Well, I think it's good to say Happy New Year in advance. So, see you next year.
All right. See you next year as well. All right. That's the show today. We do hope it was worth your while. We want to thank you for allowing us into your rooms without knocking on the door. It's a privilege we will never take for granted. Thanks you once again. I don't want to say Happy New Year in advance. We'll see you in the new year. From the city of Lagos right here in Nigeria, I'm Mimi Adebayo saying bye-bye now.
In London, it is Manchester United. In the English Premier League, it's Manchester United 2, Burnley 0. Let's end the show that way. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.